Good afternoon. This is Practical Psychology of Valery Kurinsky. My name is Yuri Besarab. One of you asked the question after the previous program about how should we observe the scale, or is it possible to give some kind of a technique of how to observe the scale, any scale. So I would like to start with this, that first of all we need to understand that we cannot observe the scale itself like something like a movement, for example, but we have a feeling that we can do something and we can perform something or execute something, and we can do it some kind of easily. That is the skill. But the skill, so I suggested to look at it from two sides. On one hand, it's a feeling that I can or you can do it, and on the other hand, I suggested to use this like a definition for us to have some kind of an instrument to work with. So a scale, let's look at the scale as the sum of movements that are repeated easily, or we can continue here with comfort and also with easiness and with some kind of let's say good feelings and feeling of maybe even of beautiful. So there are some additional synonyms just for us to enlarge the scale of feelings that are involved here. But key things that we need to pay attention to in this, let's say, in this definition is movements, that this is about movements, the skill is about movements, and also movements that are repeated. So, for us to understand a little bit more how we can use these, let's say, how can we use these notions in a way that will help us to develop a skill, we need to look at the repetition. There is a famous saying that repetition is the mother of learning, but as we know, very often repetition brings us into boredom, right? We look at the same book, for example, for a year in a school, and it's so boring to look at the same book for a year. So you see, a repetition could be positive and negative. On the other side, we would like the bus to come every day, let's say at 8 o'clock in the morning to the bus stop, yeah? And also we would like the bus to be there, or the bus to be there always at the right time when it is scheduled. This is a repetition also, but this is a repetition positive. If repetition is broken here, we are discouraged, or we are not happy with that. So we need to look, you know, in a dual way at just a phenomena of repetition. But for us to use it, repetition as a phenomena, to develop our skill, we, as you know, we divide it and we need to repeat some kind of movements, yeah? And also we need to repeat them differently. In order for us to understand that there is, there could be some kind of a creative moment in what we repeat, we need to find always something different. You see, repetition is also like a word a little bit, we can look at it from, I will step back, and you see, in the nature, there is no repetition at all. 2 drops of water, they will be different if we look at them on microscopic level. But at the same time, they have a little bit like a similar formula, and that is what repeated in the nature. Formulas, algorithm, something, those things, but not what is inside, not inside of that formula. So coming back to this phenomena of repetition, when we like the repetition, it's when there is something different. First of all, we need to, there are several rules for us to make it different. Our repetition, it could be repetition on violin, it could be when we repeat words, when we repeat something else, algorithm, for example, when we program something. So we need to find always something different. If you remember, in the previous program I mentioned Aristotle, who suggested to look at any movement and to split it into 3 stages. So preparation, then execution, and relaxation. In your opinion, what can we change in this formula? Let's say I count 1, 2, 3. So could we change the preparation? No. Could we change the execution? Probably no. Also the same with the relaxation. So in this formula we cannot change anything. Okay, then the next question is quite natural. What can we change to make the execution different, and for us to feel that we are creative, that we do repeat things differently every time? Kurinsky suggested to use such a thing as hypocontrast. What is that? So if we cannot change this formula itself, or what is inside of this formula, we can change how we perform it, and especially if we speak about rhythm. We can say a word table in 1,000 of different ways how to do it. Yes, we can say it with the different rhythms, slower or quickly. If you look at Kreuzer's etudes for violin, on the first pages, 2 pages, he gives to that etude, he gives about 30 different ways how to perform the same formula or to perform the same etude. We can use that just to help us also to let's say verify, or not verify, but make varied all of our repetitions in this way. So hypocontrast, that's a solution for us, because through hypocontrast repeated movements we develop our skill. That's the way it works. And also what we can change, maybe timbre of our voice. If we speak about learning languages, we can probably change the force of the voice. We can almost whisper. And also, if you remember, I spoke about in one of the programs about internal landscape. We can do the echo, and with every time it is repeated in our internal landscape, if that word is repeated, if you speak about learning languages, it will be a little bit different. It will be quieter and quieter. So it will be different. So this is what observe when we want to develop a good skill. Thank you very much for your attention. If you like it, please share it with others, put likes. Bye bye.